We respectfully acknowledge that this beautiful land which we are gathered together is the traditional unceded territory of the Comox First Nation. I am so pleased to be here with all of you to unveil the new directional signage of our beloved Seal Bay Nature Park. I will start by welcoming Chief Nicole Rempel of the Comox First Nation, our partners on this project and on so many others. Chief Nicole.
I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to invite our esteemed elder Fran Prince to come up and do a blessing prior to my welcome. Thank you.
I would ask the Creator to be with us today as we are on our unceded traditional territory of the Comox First Nation, but to bless each of us in a good way as we follow the protocol today in a good way, and ask that that the Creator be with each of us, and as we protect Mother Earth. Gilakasta.
Thank you, Fran. Chechi hathach imut tatfoname. Chechi hathach athath qual athans gudje. Chechi hatanapech. Hey goose Nicole Rempel Quathnan. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the unceded traditional territory of the Comox First Nation. My name is Nicole Rempel. I'm the elected chief of Comox. And we have with us today the Comox Cultural Group, who are going to be doing a welcome dance for you, as well as the Comox Ladies Dance. And we have Tyler Cranmer, who's our hereditary chief of the Numgeese, as well, doing the drumming and singing for us today, along with my son, John, and Carver, little Carver. So I guess we'll get that underway first. Thank you.
for that blessing and those traditional dances. Additional to the dancers, I would also like to welcome the KFN counselors, Catherine Frank and Richard Harvey, and to KFN staff, Emily Chaplin. I would also like to acknowledge Area B Director, Arzina Hamir, and Area C Director, Edwin Breed, who have both been such important champions for this park and strong supporters of this project. And thank you to CVRD staff, Mark Harrison, Doug DeMarso, Jennifer Steele, and Christiane Wells for planning this event today. These lands where we celebrate today are known as Zway Wai Luk, meaning a place that has beauty. Beauty that is not only seen, but also felt. I think that anyone who has visited this place can attest to the truth of that statement. This park is special not only for its beauty, but also for its rich history. It is our hope that the signs we are unveiling today will help to tell the story of this place, which generations of Indigenous people use for resource harvesting or as a place to camp as they pass through here by canoe. This acknowledgement and celebration of history and culture is timely, as next week, the nation will recognize National Indigenous Peoples Day. This is a day for all Canadians to recognize and celebrate the unique heritage, diverse cultures, and outstanding contributions of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. Language is an important part of cultural recognition, and our signs use Ayajuethan translations along with new trail names that reflect a variety of natural park elements, animals, and cultural references. Chief Rempel, who has a certificate from the University of Victoria on language revitalization, generously gave her time to assist our staff in making sure the language and phonetics were accurate. On behalf of the CVRD, I would like to present the Comox First Nation with this image of Zway Wai Luk to celebrate the beauty of this place and to commemorate this milestone. Thank you for working together with us on this important project that will help to educate our community about the history and culture of KFN and improve the experience for all of those who use our trails. And we'll just take a moment to do some photos. I will ask Chief Nicole Rempel to come forward to deliver her greetings.
Emot Jesse. Hi again. I'd really like to thank the dancers and singers, our elders and youth who came out today to share some of our culture with you, and to each of you for coming out as well to witness this important and historic event here in Seal Bay, and the collaboration and progressive step in reconciliation put forward by the CVRD with Comox First Nation. So we are here to celebrate the unveiling of 32, I think, trails within Seal Bay Park, which have been named in our Comox Ayajuethan language. Comox First Nation is traditionally comprised of 3 languages: the Pentlatch, the Island Comox or Ayajuethan, and the Kwakwaka'wakw. These trails are in the Ayajuethan or Comox speaking language. And we tried to make it easy for you guys to read by adding the phonetics, as Jesse mentioned earlier. So Comox currently has no fluent speakers of our Comox language. Our last speaker passed away in, I think, 94, 95, Mary Clifton. And since then, our language has been resting, waiting to be reawakened. And it's through events like this that we can bring that forward within our own community, but also within the valley to bring that forward and to recognize our history within our traditional unceded territory. As Jessie mentioned, I did a certificate program with the University of Victoria with our sister nations, Clahus, Hamalko, and Tla'am, and who all share the Comox language with Comox. And it's through their help that this project was really possible. I leaned on a lot of elders and a lot of community members that do speak the language to do that, and I thank them. And really raise my hands to them for their assistance as well. Language is the foundation of culture. For Indigenous oral societies, words hold knowledge amassed since time immemorial. A language holds the stories, the songs, the dances, protocols, family histories, and connections within our culture and within our communities. Languages also hold the community's customary laws. All of that knowledge held in the language is an invaluable source of information about the history of our natural environment, like Seal Bay Park, the climate, the plants, and the animals. So when a language dies, so does the link to the culture and the historic past. Without that crucial connection to their linguistic and cultural history, people lose their sense of identity and belonging. So I'm going to quote an elder from Tla'amin First Nation, Elsie Paul. I was reading a bit of her blog last night and was inspired. And she always inspires me in so many ways. So in her blog, she says, language is the most difficult to learn for the new speakers today because it was lost for so long. It's really difficult for new learners, and especially the young people. And since we've lost a lot of our speakers, our elders, and the very traditional people, we've lost those over the last few years. So you can't turn your life around in one generation, just like you can't turn a culture around in one generation or a language. It's going to take generations to get that back. And it's a lot of work. And with the efforts of the Canadian government, and most notably the residential schools, our language and culture was forbidden for many years and many generations, and it'll take that many generations to get it back. So I encourage everyone to make that effort to preserve and revitalize Indigenous language. It's a race against time as our fluent speakers pass on. But actions and developments are underway to preserve and revitalize Indigenous language. And that's why events like this are so important, to be able to bring an awareness to the importance of language revitalization, to begin using our language in commonplace areas within our territory, and share that with Valley residents. I really want to thank Jessie and the CVRD for bringing this initiative forward. In particular, I'd like to thank the staff in their Parks Department. Doug and Mark were invaluable in this process and the collaboration of naming these trails. I know they spent a lot of time in these trails trying to identify specific markers within each trail, identifying things, and then reaching out to myself to identify words in our language that we could relate to each trail. So they're very personal names to each trail, which is really wonderful. And building cultural awareness of our history and use of the entire unceded traditional territory is critical to reconciliation and moving forward together. And I really feel that CVRD has led the way within the Valley in their approach to reconciliation with the Comox First Nation, and I raise my hands to all of you in gratitude. It's my hope through initiatives and partnerships like this, we will see a revitalization of our Comox language. And through adding the phonetics to make it easier, we will share language not only with our members, but with the broader community. Cheche Hathach. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you for bringing light to the importance of today. Is there anyone else that would like to come up and speak? Okay. Well, we're going to have a photo opportunity here, and Kim is going to direct us on what to do. For the rest of you, you can take the opportunity to enjoy yourselves on the trails. There's a loop there, and you can look at some of the newly erected trail signs. Maps will be handed out to guide you on the route that follows part of the newly named trails the IE Jin, and Mayhath. Please be aware if you are following the multi-use trail section of the loop that you may encounter horses and bicycles. Pedestrians should yield to horses and keep to the right. Our beautiful new kiosk has a reference to share the trails, so please keep that in mind while you're exploring. Thank you all for coming and sharing in our celebration of this cultural milestone for our community.